Okay, I've got to preface this with that. I'm really weird.
80 countries.
Brian, yeah.
Why so few?
Yeah, I know. I'm still working. I promise. I was running/walking. In my case, crawling.
What's downloaded, or what are you listening to?
Yeah, I'm just reading insurance forms. No, I'm just kidding. I need to chill a little bit.
Reader of books, insurance maven, world traveler, Mike Willits. Thanks for being here, man.
No, it's my pleasure. I'm so excited. I've been waiting for this day to have this opportunity, so thank you.
Well, as long as I've known you, you've been a part of the my Idaho insurance experience. So kind of, how'd you get into the industry? You're at Farmers now. Kind of walk me through your career.
Yeah, so I grew up in eastern Idaho, a little town called Manan, and went to school at Idaho State, and then finished over here at Boise State. And I was looking for an opportunity, to get into business, to learn an industry, to pick a career. And the highest paying was for Great West Casualty. They had an underwriting trainee program. And I'm like, sign me up, let's try that. And ended up having a really great experience, kind of got introduced to the industry and fell in love with it.
Wow. So, okay, you started with Great West Casualty. You were an underwriter there.
Oh, and I was a terrible underwriter. I really was. I said yes to everything, and so they're like, we can't have you here.
We need more I have a phrase actually. I say, I want my family and the people I go to church with to have really high standards, but I want our underwriters to have kind of questionable standards at times.
I was one of those. But it was a great start. I got introduced to the industry, and then here I am.
So Great West Casualty is a transportation specialist.
Yes.
Mike, I feel like just knowing you've got the transportation specialist, you've got direct writer in Farmers, independent agent, carrier, cluster or aggregator in Pacific Crest. Yeah. If there was a bingo card of like types of roles, you are just checking all the boxes. You've won the bingo game, Mike.
I love it.
Give me some highlights from roles you've had and what you've learned.
Yeah, that's a great question. At the end of the day, I just like working with people. And here in the Idaho, insurance industry, we've got great people. I mean, obviously, I've got a lot of friends at the Hartwell, and over the years, I've loved working with folks there. But yeah, so I have had kind of a diverse background in terms of my journey in the insurance world, and just had some great stops. And the key thing is the highlights is just working with really, really good people.
Anyone in particular who you're like, hey, I want to give a shout out to this person who I feel like made this impact at this time?
Yeah, that's a great question. I really have two mentors that have really kind of guided my career. When I dipped my toe in being an agent, Stan Strecker was a great boss. He took a kind of a chance on me, and I learned how to be an agent, learned how to sell. They called him Slugger Strecker for a reason. He's just great. And then obviously with the Hartwell, Ray Wolf was just somebody that really kind of helped guide my career and kind of get me started. And then I would say Steve Ball. He was with Premier for a number of years. Great manager, great partner, and really enjoyed working with him.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
besides yourself, besides yourself.
You mentioned Ray Wolf, and I think he was a guy who was at our agency many years ago. And it's interesting how there's these almost not necessarily like a class in school, but like generations of people.
Right.
And as they retire and new people come along, just this morning we were joking with some of the folks who are here doing our podcast that I'm the old guy to them, right? So, what do you like? Let's jump into the present. What do you like about Farmers right now? What are you excited about?
Well, I love having my own sales team, and honestly, I spent a number of years. I was 10 years with Mutual of Enumclaw as a carrier rep there, working with a number of different sales teams that weren't my own. And so, what I really wanted to do at this point in my career is have my own sales team. And I've got a really good one. I've got 17 agents here in the Valley. So I work with agents McCall South and then Mountain Home West. So throughout the Treasure Valley, and I just love being involved in helping grow and develop their books of business, help answer their problems, and just work with the community, become kind of the public face of Farmers. That's what I love about it. It really is a great company. They really care about the Valley, the Valley, and I get that opportunity to kind of coach and mentor agents, and that's really where I thrive and what I love.
So like Farmers, people, State Farm, Farmers, Allstate, they get confused a lot.
Sure.
State Farm has a giant book in Southern California.
Sure.
And across California, they're
Yeah.
like 20% of the market share. That really impacted them having these tragic fires in Los Angeles. Does Farmers have a presence there? I mean, did you
Yeah.
guys, how did that look for you?
Yeah, we're the company itself is just based in the LA area, Southern California area, and so they've got a long history there. Started by a group of farmers that wanted to get a better deal on their insurance rates, and so our presence is quite significant there. The good news is the company's been very thoughtful about where to grow, where to have concentrations of value. It's tough to write in that area, it just is, and we did take a hit with that. But the good news is financially we're very, very sound at the end of the story there. But the challenges that we saw in Southern California are no different than what we're seeing here in Idaho with property. It's just tough. It really is, and so we're trying to be thoughtful around where we write and make sure we protect as many families and businesses as we can.
Right. So, okay, you may not know this, but in Southern California, does Farmers still have a building on Wilshire Boulevard? Does that ring any bells?
I should probably know that.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I should probably know that.
So there's several Farmers buildings in LA, right? A number of them. I did a CPCU class at a Farmers building off Wilshire Boulevard. And then the first place I worked was a Brown & Brown office, and right next to it in Agora Hills was 20 years ago, an enormous Farmers building that I walked through once with a friend who was being trained to be a adjuster. They literally had like smashed cars, and they were taking notes on the different dynamics of the accident.
Yeah.
Or they had full kitchen sets that were halfway burned.
Wow.
So I don't know if that's still there, but like when I think Farmers, those things pop into my mind.
Yeah. Well, it's a good question. I don't know.
No, okay. Stepping outside of insurance, let's talk local politics.
Yes.
Your family has been on the local political scene. Tell me what it's like to have a family member in the local political scene.
Great question. My wife is on the Boise City Council, and politics, obviously, in this kind of season is kind of interesting, but it's great. It really is. And Lucy does a great job. She really loves being involved in the community and finding ways to serve. Both her and I, from our very get-go, have had a strong commitment to the community. And so that opportunity for her to give back, I've served with the Red Cross, and now my focus is really around working with the homeless, because it's just a real challenge in the area. And we approach it with an Idaho kind of view, and so finding ways to address that problem in the area is really where I'm focused, at least recently. But no, both Lucy and I, we love the community. We've been very blessed. We've raised our kids here. We've been here for over 20 years, and we just love the value, and we feel compelled to get involved in the community as I know you have as well. So
like, there's like a certain level of like, you put something on Facebook and someone responds and says something snarky. I'm imagining that level goes up dramatically when you're on the Boise City Council.
Yes.
And if you say yes to something, half the people are mad. And if you say no to something, the other half of people are mad.
Exactly. No, exactly.
How do you guys as a family deal with negative feedback? Because you know it's going to happen no matter what you do.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. And the challenge in kind of these polarized times, you've got loud voices on both sides. And I think the key is finding, local solutions. And that's why we want to get involved in local government, is because there, when things really happen, we get calls at 10 o'clock at night because somebody's dog's barking and they want the city council to address that issue. And that's what it's really about, is caring for people, caring for our neighbors, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's challenging at times, and Lucy and I don't always agree, and that's when it gets fun. We had a travel blog at one time. We called it The Fighting Couple, and so that bleeds over to politics, I'll be honest with you, but we love it. We love it, and I wish more people, honestly, and I love that question because I wish more people would get involved, because there's some really hard things we're facing in Idaho and the Valley, and we need people, reasonable people, to jump in and help us solve some of these problems.
So you talk about the fighting couple. My wife and I, number one, our travel plans, like she wants to go to like Bryce Canyon. I want to go to New York City, right? Like just a little different vibe. She likes to have every hour planned out of a trip, and I like to have part of the day planned and the other day kind of like more freewheeling.
Yeah.
How would you describe yourself? I know you've done a lot of traveling. Like what's your preference when you travel?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm weird. Okay, I've got to preface this with that. I'm really weird. So I have a spreadsheet. I have a whole file. We plan our trips a year in advance. So I like to learn the language of the place we're going. I read books on the history of the location. Of course, as a student of politics and government, I want to really understand the situation there. And so when I get there, when we travel, I like to learn more and know more than the tour guide, believe it or not. That's what we like to do. My wife, she likes to relax a little on vacation, and I'm annoying to her in that regard. I'm like, let's go see this, or this is what happened here. Let's go check that out. So, yeah, there's a little bit of that. So I need to chill a little bit. It's one of my personal failings that I'm working on.
So I think we're connecting here because my wife likes to have vacations where either it's really dialed in or we just sit by a pool the whole time.
Yeah.
And there's like nothing in between. And I'm kind of always in this unknown in between.
Yeah.
Now you've done a lot of traveling from what I understand, but I don't know the full extent of it. How many countries have you visited in the world?
Yeah, I'm one of those weird people. I do track how many countries, and I've been to all 50 states, of course, and then been to 80 countries.
80 countries?
Not, Ryan, yeah.
Why so few?
Yeah, I know. I'm still working. I promise I'm still
Totally
working.
kidding.
It's become an addiction, and I'm working through that. A 10-step program to get over that. But we live in a wonderful world, and the beauty of access, the ease of traveling now is much more simpler than it was.
Okay.
And it's like I said, it's an addiction at this point. But been to some pretty cool places.
So if somebody wanted to start traveling, kind of dip their toes in the water.
Yeah.
What are some like entry countries you'd say, hey, try this place out first, or here a few ideas of places to try?
Yeah, that's a great question, and it just depends on where what your budget is, right? I love Asia, I really do. We've been to some difficult places like Burma. I love Thailand. There's so much history there. The food is fantastic. Oh my gosh, so good. My wife, when she gets, we kind of take turns picking out where we go. She loves Europe. And a little surprise there is Slovenia is somewhere I really highly recommend, folks.
Okay.
A lot of folks speak English there. It makes it really easy to travel as an American. It's very affordable. And it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's just the lakes and the mountains there. And it's fascinating.
Wow.
It really is.
So Slovenia, I have a quick story on that.
Talk to me.
One of my aunts and my aunt and uncle, they spent like 35 years as Christian missionaries in Slovenia. So they're fluent in Slovene, blah, blah, blah. So they're at a restaurant, they see this couple trying to order in English, and it's just going really poorly at just this one little occasion.
Sure.
So my aunt gets up, she's kind of a take the bull by the horns person, gets up, goes over and says, hey, do you need assistance? Oh yes, thank you. Helps them order. And then as my aunt's about to leave, the American gal says, I just want to tell you, your English is really good.
Oh, really?
My aunt's from Caldwell, right? So like,
I hope so.
But yeah, that's my Slovenia. So
that's
like,
awesome.
you're on a plane from here to Malaysia, and you got 18 hours. What are you doing to fill that time? Like, what's on
my gosh.
What's downloaded, or what are you listening to?
Yeah, I'm just reading insurance forms. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, I love podcasts. I'm a big podcast guy. I'm a big history. There's a history podcast that I love. That I like to listen to. Big reader. I can't sleep on planes. I wish I could. I just don't have that ability. So I've got to read. Listen to. I'm a big Cure, Erasure guy. Depeche Mode. So that's on the playlist. So a little bit of everything. Yeah.
Do you do Goodreads?
Goodreads, I do. I really like Goodreads, actually. It's that way you can kind of share what you see and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I love it.
I just found out about it a couple of years ago, but it's kind of an addiction now for me to start the book, and then it tracks, how long it takes you to finish the book.
Yeah.
And so it's been a kind of a fun app.
Yeah.
Like if you had free time, it sounds like traveling's a part of that.
Yeah.
Traveling, recuperating from political drama that's happening.
Sure.
Like, what do you like to do with your free time? What do you enjoy?
Yeah, that's a great question. Travel's a lot what we do, and then just a lot of things around the community.
Okay.
Obviously, with Lucy's role, we like to get out there and hear from the people, what's going on, neighborhood events. And that's the beauty of this valley, where it's Hialdi or a local neighborhood event or the Greek food festival. We've got so much here to go and do. And so every night we've got something going on we want to go. Now, granted, part of that's loosey politicking, and then me in the background feeding my face on whatever food they have available.
Amen.
So, yeah, we love that. I play tennis, play a lot of tennis.
Oh, okay.
Kind of enjoy getting out and doing that. And then just did a half Ironman, believe it or not.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like,
so.
what does it look like to train for that?
It's ugly. Yeah, it's ugly. And I don't like to work out. So for me, training for that, I've had a few folks that just kind of encourage me. Kevin Cleveland, he works at ISU. He's been kind of my coach.
Okay.
Super good guy, very bright guy, but pushes me a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Do you feel like Ironman training will get in the way of traveling if you're not careful?
Good question. Yeah, or it could be helpful in certain situations, but no, and I didn't do. I got to be clear. I didn't do a full Ironman. I know that's coming to the Valley here soon, but no, it's great. Got to stay healthy, and that sort of thing. So for me, it's great.
So half Ironman is what's like the distance and the swim and the whatever it is?
Yeah, so you're 50 miles on a bike, then you're 13 running / walking, in my case crawling, and then you've got a 1.3 mile swim that does it. And I was just, let me tell you, I was white.
Dude, I can't see how people don't pass out in the water.
I don't know how people do a full Ironman, right? That's intense.
Yeah, and get kicked in the face or whatever that happens. I mean, I can't even swim across a pool. I need to get better. I know it helps your core, all those things.
Yeah.
But
have you done Roby Creek? Have you done that yet?
No. So I actually have kind of a low disc issue. And so for me, I mostly do Peloton.
Okay, gotcha.
So are you familiar? You may not have heard of it. There's a soap brand called Duke Cannon. Does that ring any bells?
Doesn't.
They sell it online. They sell it in stores. But it's like, I just love the marketing. I love corny marketing.
Okay.
And it says Duke Cannon was built for a time. This is like part of like there's like 10 different segments here. It says Duke Cannon was built for a time when men woke up at 5 a.m. to work on railroads, not when men woke up at 9 a.m. to ride pretend bicycles. And I'm like, I'm the guy riding the pretend bicycle. So their whole shtick is like, men can be tough again. I don't actually get their product, but I remember that. And anytime I tell someone I have a Peloton in one of our rooms, I feel like a little wuss. So that's how I work out.
Hey, it works. I'm gonna have to try that soap. That sounds good, man.
If you ride, if you watch sports or if you watch like parts of John Wick or Mad Max, I mean, the intensity level is pretty high, so you can kind of keep riding while you're distracted.
Sure. Yeah. No. There you go. No. Plus you can multitask the whole time. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
So as you reflect on your career, maybe we'll shift kind of as we. What kind of things would you advise a young person considering insurance to think about, and what advice would you give to somebody who's maybe newer to the insurance industry, who's just getting going and might be a little discouraged?
Oh, love that question. That's a great question. Key thing is relationships. Build those, invest in those, find a good mentor. I mentioned Steve Ball and Stan Strecker and Ray and others that have been influential in my career. Seek out those mentors. Learn from them, ask the questions. Some of these OG people, and you're becoming OG now.
Oh gosh.
Give them a call, say, hey, and that's the nice thing about you. I call you, I've got questions, and everyone's just very generous. Yeah, we are competitors to a certain degree, but we're really on the same team in terms of protecting folks. And so a young person getting into the industry, reach out, ask the questions, build those relationships. And then at the end of the day, a lot of it's shoe leather. Those first 3 years, as you know, they're just so hard. They're tough. But if you keep going, putting another foot in front of another, and you'll make it.
Right.
It's a great industry. It's very good to me and my family.
Right. Mike, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time. This was good.
No, this is awesome. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity.